Hello everyone, and welcome to English Story Radio channel. Today, I'm excited to share an English story with you. If you enjoy this story and want to see more like it, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll be the first to know when I upload new content. Without further ado, let's get started. The treasure hunt. Jake was a young boy with a wild imagination. He loved going on adventures and exploring new places. One day, while playing in the park, he found an old map lying on the ground. The map looked old and worn out, but it had a big X marked on it. Jake's eyes lit up with excitement. He knew that this map was a treasure map, and he was going to find the treasure. Jake decided to follow the map and find the treasure. The map led him to a dense forest. The trees were so tall that Jake couldn't see the sky. He walked deep into the forest, and soon he heard a strange noise. He looked around and saw a group of monkeys playing in the trees. Jake was scared at first, but then he realized that they were friendly monkeys. Jake asked the monkeys if they knew where the treasure was. The monkeys chattered and pointed in the direction of a big rock. Jake thanked the monkeys and followed their directions. As he walked towards the rock, he heard a strange growling sound. He looked around and saw a big, furry animal with sharp teeth. Jake realized that it was a bear. The bear looked angry and started running towards Jake. Jake was scared and didn't know what to do. He closed his eyes and prayed for help. Suddenly, he heard a loud whistle. It was his friend Tom, who had come to help him. Tom had a whistle that could scare away animals. The bear ran away as soon as he heard the whistle. Jake and Tom continued to follow the map. The map led them to a cave. The cave was dark and spooky. Jake and Tom were scared, but they decided to explore the cave. They saw bats hanging from the ceiling and heard strange noises coming from deep inside the cave. As they walked deeper into the cave, they saw a glimmering light. It was the treasure. The treasure was a big chest filled with gold coins, diamonds, and precious gems. Jake and Tom were overjoyed. They had found the treasure. Suddenly, they heard footsteps. It was the owner of the treasure. He was a big, muscular man with a fierce look on his face. He demanded that they give him the treasure. Jake and Tom were scared, but they refused to give up the treasure. The man started chasing them. Jake and Tom ran as fast as they could. They ran out of the cave and into the forest. The man was getting closer and closer. Just as they thought they were going to get caught, they saw a helicopter flying overhead. The helicopter landed, and two men came out. They were policemen. They had been looking for the treasure thief for a long time. They arrested the man and thanked Jake and Tom for finding the treasure. Jake and Tom returned home with the treasure. They were hailed as heroes. They shared the treasure with their families and friends. From that day on, Jake and Tom became famous treasure hunters. They continued to go on adventures and explore new places. One day, Jake and Tom received another treasure map. This map was different from the first one. It had no X marked on it. Instead, it had a series of numbers and symbols. Jake and Tom were puzzled, but they knew that this was another treasure map. They decided to decode the map. They spent hours deciphering the numbers and symbols. Finally, they figured out that the map led them to a secret island. They took a boat to the island. The island was small, but it was full of surprises. There were palm trees, sandy beaches, and crystal clear waters. Jake and Tom explored the island and soon they found a cave. The cave was dark and spooky, but they knew that the treasure was inside. They entered the cave and saw a big, shiny gemstone. The gemstone was so beautiful that it glowed in the dark. Jake and Tom were amazed. They had never seen such a beautiful gemstone before. They knew that this was the treasure they had been looking for. But suddenly, they heard a loud noise. It was a group of pirates. The pirates were the owners of the gemstone, and they demanded that Jake and Tom give it back. Jake and Tom refused. They knew that they had found the treasure fair and square. The pirates were angry and started chasing them. Jake and Tom ran as fast as they could, but the pirates were getting closer. Just when they thought they were going to get caught, they saw a small boat. The boat was a rescue boat, and it was coming towards them. Jake and Tom jumped into the boat, and the boat sped away from the island. The pirates tried to catch up, but they couldn't. Jake and Tom were safe. They returned home with the gemstone. They sold the gemstone and made a lot of money. They shared the money with their families and friends. From that day on, Jake and Tom were known as the greatest treasure hunters in the world. They continued to go on adventures and explore new places. They found many more treasures, but they always remembered the excitement and danger of their first treasure hunt. Jake and Tom knew that they had a gift for finding treasures. They knew that they were meant to be treasure hunters. They never gave up on their dreams, and they always followed their hearts.